Welcome back to our Marina GT garage find project. 6 months ago we removed the wings from our Marina, now it is time to put some new ones on. If you watched the last full video, the GT was being stored in the dark, scary warehouse. First task was to get it back into the workshop, and to do that we had to move the Daimler ferret. And as you can hear, it wasn't running right. Turns out we had a fractured fuel line banjo bolt.
Nasty.
Well, that's not going to tighten up.
No.
It's good job we got that out.
Isn't it?
That could have been naughty.
There is now space in the corner of the workshop as the Lancia has moved out next door to the tiny workshop to get some paint. Careful! The wings and front valence were stripped and painted in an earlier episode, so all we need to do now is fit them onto this. Good job we have a Simon lying around who can do it.
Right, we've got a lot to do tonight. So the plan is, I need to weld that up. Big hole there. Hello! Weld that up. We need to put the radiator brackets on. We need to do a bit of finger sander cleaning up, which is this one's cleaning up in here. All in there, so that's going to be finger sandering cleaning. I'm then going to set, I've got to weld that in. So this is the panel that Ryan made.
Yeah. so that's the one that you made?
That's the one that I made. This is the one that Ryan made. Look at my holes are a lot better than Ryan's. So yeah, so we're just going to weld that in there. And then what I need to do is set the headlamp panels up. There's a reason why these have been left on, and I'll explain that later. But we're going to set the headlamp panels up, and then what we need to do is get loads of primer on it here and there so it's drying, so when we come back we can fit the panels which are hiding down there. So there we go. We just need to get the distance from that, and that must go through front panel, I guess. Must be some brackets on it, so we'll work it out. Yeah, we'll work it out. At least we've got that to hand. Return on that just to give it a little bit of strength, and that's going to go on there like that, and then that one's going to go on there like that. So what I've done is I've put 445 there. So it's 445 the centre of the hole, which I think it is. So if I go 445 centre of the hole, that's near the lead, that wants to go more that way. Right, so that's width, so now we've got to work out. So what I've done is I've marked it as 120 front to back. So what's 120? I've gone from the centre of that hole, haven't I, to the back. Because that's 120. I've written 120 there. Yeah, so it's more sloped, so I know I've got it the right way around. It went right to the edge of that plate, well that plate went there, so it's saying it wants to go a little bit further forward. Which ties in with that one, because that one's a little bit further back. It looks like that prong almost goes in line with crossmember, doesn't it? It's like it almost wants to be there. If you look at that bottom prong, is in line with that crossmember.
Yeah.
So I think it wants to go there, which would tie in without having a flat on there. So I think if we get that in line with that, I think we're there. And then 445 width. I'm going to cut this off. Don't worry about that. I'm cutting that because we don't need both. So I'm cutting the back one off. Yeah, I need to keep this one. So I'm going to cut that off there and then weld it on there. See, I think it wants to be in line with that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go in line with that cross member.
Okay.
So if we drill that, we know that that fits in there because we marked it before. That's why I left those bits on. So as long as I line that up with that perfectly and clamp that up, drill some holes in. The only thing that's puzzling me is that's slightly out there. But that could, remember this is a handmade panel, so that could be a reason for that. So same thing again, we need to line it up on that circle. We've got a bit of a circle there, so we line it up perfectly to that, because we know that that's right. And then that lines up with that, look. So I might just have to modify that lamp panel a bit. So drill that through, and then I can remove that. I've also got that little dimple which does line up actually, so yes, that wants to go like that. Right, so I now know that when I remove that, I've got two pilot holes that I can drill that to. And I know that'll be in the right place. Yeah? So I just need to remove this now. Do the same on that side. Gonna have a base soon. Right, let's call it a bit. Yeah. Right, so the plan is to fit that lot onto there. So first things first, I need to get the doors lined up. Always start at the back, work forward. So I'm going to check the alignment of the doors first to make sure they all fit okay, and then I've got to clean all these panels up ready for welding. So I need to clean the wings up, front panel up, landing panel, The headlamp panel's already done. I just need to clean them all up so that they can be spot welded. And then I need to drill all the holes in for the MIG plugging where I'm going to MIG plug. And then the first job to go on will be a wing. So I'm going to line that door up first, and then we'll put that wing on and see how that fits. I'm hoping that when I put the wing on, I can slide the headlamp panel in. I don't want to put the headlamp panels on yet. Like I said, you start from back and move forward. So that's the plan. If it doesn't work out, you'll see as we go along. I've got a little bit of welding to do in here, and I've got to tidy this up here. But other than that, it's all good to go. Yeah, it's a top hinge, look. So what I'll do is, it really probably wants those hinge pins replacing. Yeah, it wants lifting up. So what I'll do is, I'll take the plate, rather than obviously mess about trying to swap a pin over, I'll try and get to those bolts if I can. It's right behind the dashboard. And I'll try and lift this door up a little bit to take the play out. And then that should, if you look at the door there, it's sitting low. So you can see the line there, drops and goes across. So I need that to go up. And it's riding the catch as well. So, can you hear that? That's the catch. So I need to adjust the catch and lift the catch up a little bit. So first things first, let's try and get this, which luckily, yeah, I should be able to get in. Oh yeah, bingo. So what I'll do, I'll take this catch off and we'll set the door up. Better, just a little bit more. It's sticking out at the bottom, but that's because the door's rusty. So if you look at the door there, it's all sweated and horrible. So it needs better second-hand doors. If you know anywhere you've got some, let us know. But I think that's about right. What it's done is it's tightened the gap up there. So what I might do is I'm just going to, it's slightly higher. So I'm going to tighten the top one up and just... for that one. That one's fine. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Don't need any adjustment on that.
Simon likes to clean up all the surfaces at the start ready for welding because there is no point putting the wings on, lining them up, then taking them off to clean them up, only have to realign everything again.
What I'm hoping is that I can, because we've got no suspension in the car and I can get in, I'm hoping I can dig through. I won't be able to get in with a spot welder because I haven't got the right arms. So I'm going to work on a principle that I can MIG plug it.
Apologies for the background noise. Ryan was helping make some gates.
So that welds to that, so I can maybe spot weld that. I won't plug them, I'll try and get away with spot welding. If it don't work, I can always drill them later. I might get away with spot welding that. I might get away with spot welding that bit as well, so we'll leave that as well. So that one is ready to go on. That one, I can't remember if this goes above the wings or below the wings, so I might have to do a little bit of looking at that, but let's just be, well, I won't be able to spot weld them, so let's...
Then all the surfaces were sprayed with weld-through primer.
If you remember, we lined these up with the previous holes that we had. What would Craig say? This one's slightly off, so might be worth trying to look at that at the moment. I'll try it with the other one on. Right, that one's cutting down. It's stepped, so I need to cut that down. So let's do that next. Look at that. Looking like a Marina again. Like I said, it's just that's... And I think it's to do with this bit here. Because if you look at that, it's sitting there. What I'm thinking of doing is just cutting them off, just grinding them out, moving it that way a bit. It may be just... This one's replacement, so it may just flayed out a little bit. And that more than likely wants to be lined up with that, which would then set it up with that. So I'm going to grind them off and just move it that way a bit. And then we'll cut that off as well. So I think as a compromise it wants to be out there, because that must weld onto that, or does it go behind? Might go behind because that has a bit of metal there, so I'd say it goes behind. I'd say it goes like that. It's only ever so slightly out. So let's clean it up and we'll put that on again. Look at that. That one's tapping down. That one's going off at an angle. That's better. Technically we could spot weld that on there. Look at that. Trust me. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's not gonna. I didn't see that. Need a bigger hammer. So what I'm looking at is trying to get that lined up there and trying to get that lined up with that. That gap's a bit tight, but don't worry about that, I can sort that out later. Probably just put a splitting disc in that and tap that down. I'm not worried about that. It's about getting that bit right. I just need to grip that on there. And then what we've got to try and do is sort this gap out at the top now. I've got too much movement going on it. That'll just support that. So what's stopping that from getting to there? See what it's doing is it wants to go up and like that, but it's not sitting down in here. So if you look down here, you can see how it's, look at the top of the door and then look at the scuttle panel. The wing's bent. That might be because the second-hand wings on a car and when we were taking them off. So I need to try and get that down into there. But what that's doing is it's throwing door gap out. So I might have to just take the wing off again and try and bend that. That's better, look. So straight away, it's sitting flush to that, look. And it's about, look at that there, look. I mean, this is, come around this side. This is a factory wing, look, because look at it there. Goes wide, goes wide, goes wide, goes narrow. Goes wide, then goes really, really narrow, and then goes wide again. It's just how they were. If I can compromise and get that sitting like that, I can tap that back, that'll be alright. So I'd be happy with that.
Remember when we were looking at the car when it was on the trailer, there was a massive gap there.
They always were, that Marina that I had, it had huge gaps. You could have got in the car without opening the door.
Come round there and that racking.
Yeah. What's the 2 sheets of angle for?
Go around them first.
Right, that's more or less there. It wants to go up a little bit, but I'm quite happy with that. What I want to do is try and get a self-tapper in that top corner, because I need to try the bonnet down and try the bonnet gap. So we'll nick Ryan's drill and we'll put a screw in that top corner, and then we'll repeat and do the same on that side. It's not quite where it needs to be, but it's close enough. Right, let's have a laugh. Obviously I need to take that catch off so it goes down, but that's alright, that. First attempt. Get in there. Right, I'm having a break now. No.
Take them spots off and then we can...
Matt popped down to see how things were going.
It's filming again. What are you doing? Ah!
There we go. There we go, QC inspector's here.
Yeah.
What's up, where?
Isn't it because the wings were a different car, wouldn't it, might be awkward?
Yeah, they're off of Vauxhall Viva. It's fine.
Are they genuine or spurious?
I've no idea. No idea. I think they're genuine because they don't fit half bad, to be honest. Yeah, can you put the wing on that side for us now?
No, I said you want to hold anything.
Yeah, the wing on that
I
side.
can hold it on.
Yeah, okay then. Come on then.
You got any blue tack?
Come on. That's your job. Do you know where it goes?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's about right.
There you go. Fits like a glove on a foot. Fits better than the other side, actually.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Wherever Matt leaves it, I'm going to weld it. Come on then. Come on then. Me and you. Yeah, no, next bit.
Oh, you're getting giddy, aren't you?
I don't know if I need to move those grips or not.
So, yeah.
Right. I'm off home now.
Should be funny face. Have you won? Oh, no, you've not let me down, have you? Acceptable?
Yeah. Right. Next job, Matt.
Hold it there.
There you go. There you go.
Are you going to start blasting in powder coating then?
Point that at the car. It's interesting how the wing on this side fits nice and flat like that, and then that wing goes off like that and down. But that's clearly down to pressing.
You what there?
If you look at that there, look. That sits quite parallel.
Oh, shit, aye, yeah.
And then look at this side, it goes like that and then goes down like that. So I can't physically bend that wing. I can't do that. It's impossible. So I don't
Where's
know.
the grill? Does the grill go all the way across?
What, all the way across the front of the car?
No, when does it go all the way in here?
Yeah.
This is the area we are concerned about. It doesn't fit the shape of the grille. Now if you look on the other side, it fits perfectly.
Passenger side wing, same as the driver's side wing on that door gap. And then I'm going to tack it to a post. I'll weld it on so that it's solid and can't go anywhere. And then we'll start lining alt front end up then and tack that on. And then fill the gaps up in the middle. That wing's doing the same on that side. That side was as well, I had to bend it. Yeah. Yeah, that side was. It just wants carefully massaging. So it don't. I don't know, I'll worry about it later. There'll be just something in there, won't it? Yeah, it's just that top bit there. That's easy to sort out. You know, you tend to find that it's just out pressings are. This is all bent here as well, you see. That's got the same problem on here as well, it wants that flush tapping. That's better. Just holding off on this top corner. I think it's this air post that's the problem. Something's stopping that from going in. I can't work out where it is. I think it's that. I think it's that bit there. What I'm going to have to do is just hold that there. If you look up there, you can see what it's doing. So if you point it up there, look, and look in the top corner, you can see what it's doing, look. I think it's just the shape. I think it's just the pressing. So I'm going to have to, if I can get that bit right, I can worry about that. It just wants to be about there. Oh, sorry. It wants to be about there. If I can get it to hold there, and then I'll have to play about with it. It's really wide, look. Plus if you notice, it's sitting really back, really low down. Now this bonnet has not been touched one iota. This is exactly, we have not undone any bolts on this. And I purposely did that because I didn't want to. I wanted something to work to. There is a seal that sits on the back of there, which will lift it up a little bit. And that's as high as it'll go there anyway. I'm happy with it that side, but that's too wide. We need to get that to go in. I'll mark where it is. And then I know what I'm moving. What I might do is if I put a clamp on that. Why I drew the line on it is because I wanted to see the actual movement of the wing. Then I could gauge how far I've moved it in. Oh yeah. That's better, but you never, if you look here, look. I'm happy with that gap now. That gap's lovely, right? That's, if anything, that wing wants to come that way a little bit, and that's pretty much spot on. So there's no way on this earth, on this planet, can you get that wing to close up on that bonnet, because you can't, because otherwise you'll lose that gap there. So it's all about compromise. So it's just basically, I mean, if you look at that there, it's level there. The angle's a bit slightly odd, so we'll have to play about with the angle because it wants to sit there. The angles are a bit off. But if you look straight down it, while it's a wide gap, it's totally parallel. If you come here, mate, you can see the. If you look there, look, you see the difference in the angle there. Look, it's really peaked up there. So we'll have to play around with that gap. And then if you look at this side, it's pretty much the same. This is all to cock. This is all wrong. So we'll have to mess around with this. But while it's a wide gap, and you'll be able to change your spark plugs with bonnet closed, but there you go. I'm happy with that. I think we need to get welding. Can't he go outside in the sunshine? Is he ignoring me? Yes, he's ignoring me. People will be screaming at it going, you need to do this, you need to do that. And you know what, if we had loads of time I would agree with them. Right, that's because that was sort of like going flush, and it was dipping in there. And it's wide, narrow, wide, narrow. But actually, I think that looks all right. What does Craig, the QC guy, say? What people fall into trap of when they're doing this is that they're trying to line everything together. So what they fall into trap of doing is putting the wings on, putting the valence on, putting the headlamp panels on, gripping it all up, getting all the gaps right, and you just tie yourself in knots. If you just start one, we know that that's right because that can't move, so we know that's right. We know that's right now because we lined it up. We now know that's all right, so then we'll go forward. And the reason why I prepped all the panels up is there's no point putting your panels on, lining them all up, getting it somewhat like, and then taking them all off to clean them all up to put them all back on again. If they fit, weld them on. Oh yeah, it's tightened. It has tightened up now. You don't have to do all that jiggling and pokery. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah, they're all right then. So let's get the, I'd say, landing panel on next. And we'll have to just try and see what we can do with this bit here because this is just shocking. I really don't know what to do with that. Ideally what it wants is, it wants all these spot welds drilling out, which will free that up, and then that should technically lift up. But that is just all wrong. What do I do? What do I do? I'm happy with that side. That's no problem at all. I think the problem you've got is if you try and alter that to that, what happens if that fits with front panel? So I fit all that lot up, put the front valence on, and then that sits up high. I think what I need to do is just get it to fit as best I can, and then I'm just going to have to reshape that later. And we'll put the grill on and we'll just line it up to the grill. I think it's all I can do. All I can do. So next job is the landing panel. So if we get the landing panel in, we set the wing gaps up. Going back to what we're saying, start at the back, work forward. Let's get the wing gaps set up right. Really, I'm gonna have to self-tackle that really. Unless I can get away with see if I can get away with shutting bonnet with them on. God, Ryan's annoying. No, I can't. That's bob on in there. So what it's done, look, is it's because that's been welded wrong. So it's all right there, but then it's nipping up there, and that's because that's wrong. Yeah, I'm gonna have to drill them out, I think, and try and compress that up. A little bit of springing when I'm unclipping it, but I'm not worried about that. It's parallel, which is what I'm after. Bob on for me. Couple of welds in these now, and technically we can spot weld the lamp panel to that. That's obviously the lamp panel I made there, which spot welds through there. So if we can get, I'll put a MIG plug in there, both sides, get a couple of MIG plugs in, and then we'll set this landing panel, make sure it's in the right place, and then we'll spot weld that on. And then it's the front valence time, and then the front valence will dictate what we do with this. So there we go, that's next stop. And a quick check, did doing that alter any of the door gaps? Nope. No, because again the weld is solid, so they can't move. Bob on in line with that under there. It's just slightly wider there than I'd like. But what I can do to that is I can do a little bit of a sneaky trick, and I want you to push on this wing here really, really hard. Yeah, you ready? Too wide there, might have to drill that spot, might have to drill it out and just see if I can push it in a bit further. It's just a bit too wide for me. I'm going to drill it further back here. Still bloody wide. It's still bloody wide. What's it doing? It's like when you tighten it up, it's spreading out. Let me do my trick with a pen again. Definitely moved because I've covered that line up that I made. Right, fingers crossed. We've got it. Yes, that's better. It's tight there, but don't worry about that. We'll sort that out. It's more about getting it right to there. You see that? That's way better. I mean, obviously they weren't clamping up, but we guessed, but they're pretty much bob on, more or less. So now my next job now is I'm going to drill in here. I've got a drill across there as well, and we'll MIG plug it right down to here. The wings haven't moved, which is good, at the back. Nope, so we'll do some more welding up back of there, and then we can spot weld the landing panel on. That one needs tidying up because that's where I had to drill it back out again, but I'll sort that out. Sorted. Oh. Next job, same on that side. They're fine. Right, I just want to triple check that. So if you can get your camera up there, I don't know if you can see it. But we're looking to make sure that that sits central. If that sits central, we know the catch is we know the catch will fit in. So we can now weld the landing panel on. Yeah, that'll do. So we've had the coffee break and I was just stood there looking at it thinking, what can I do? The problem I've got with this method is there's no weight in the car. So I've got a feeling it's just gonna lift the car up and not do no. Yeah. Right, so then what I need to do now is pull that in there and grip it. This is only, if this works, then fine.
Right. Shall I get inside and...
No, let's see, it's moved, try it. Put bonnet down now, I think it's done it. I mean, don't worry about the gap, but I think it's done it.
Get the grill.
I don't know where the grill is. Oh, it's on the bench. Look at that.
That is that's...
The joys of Pepsi Max. Yeah, it's worked. Oh, I'm happy with that. If I drill that up and put a self-tapper in, at least I know that can't move. Now, I've got a feeling this will be too far out. I think it wants to go that way, but this is only just to stop it from springing back. That's it, it's gone, hasn't it? That's it, it's got it. I'm a bit worried about those bumper mounts. You know, we were saying earlier, that bumper mount lines up lovely, but that one's way out. Going back to what we were saying about this piece here, so I think it has moved. So I think what we need to do is we need to sort that out, because I think that's moved. I mean, that's technically meant to spot weld to that. Well, that's never going to spot weld to that. That all wants, it's this all wants bending back. That flange in there. I reckon that needs to be more bent back. So I think we need to sort this bumper bracket out now. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do, let's put some strength into it. Let's spot weld these bits at the top. Then we know that the landing panel's right. And then we'll sort this out. I mean, as daft as it seems, I could just do that with a big hammer. And I think it'll do it. Let's spot weld it. Can't see what I've done. Has that got it? How many spot welds was it like before it wants cooling down? Oh well, I'm sure we'll make it fit. Yeah, it's burning oil. Okay, Look at that. Oh, it looks happy. Let's get this valance welded on now. I've got to sort this gap out. I'm just going to slit that and then just tap it in. I've got that bit right. I've got that bit right.
Right.
Managed to sort that. So it's just it just comes in and then goes like that. So I'm just going to cut that, tap it in, and then get the gap back. The gaps are wide, but they are what they are. Ow. Ow. Don't think that's working. This is a bit of a gap going on, that's what it's doing. So the pinch isn't. Come on. Let it cool down. It's just two welds that I've not, just needs two putting in there in the middle, but I've got it otherwise. So the next job is across this lip across the front now. Problem is mine's drill's not particularly sharp. Yeah. Does sound like him, doesn't it? He's not very sharp. Not the sharpest tool in the box.
That's coming back.
Okay. Well, he doesn't watch the videos, he won't hear that. Oh, your spot welder started beeping. What does that mean?
It's got too warm.
Okay.
The wires are already damaged.
Yay!
Now Simon wants to correct the pinch in the wing. He does that by cutting a slit, tapping it back and welding it back up.
just need to tidy that up in there. Right, that's that welded up. Same on other side. That was split up there, so I just welded that up as well. What time is it?
2:30.
So, 4 hours. We started at about 10, didn't we? 9:30. So, 4.5 hours. So yeah, I'll just get grinding disc on and start tackling it.
Yeah, we.
Now the bonnet can come off so Simon can reach the areas obscured by the hinge.
Go on, Mike, got bonnet strap. Actually, that's quite light.
Finally, Simon and Ryan went round to mark where the dents were in the wings. Well, that's about it. If you want to know how many MIG plugs and spot welds there are, we counted them. Ha! No, we didn't. It'd be one sad man who did that. There were 154.